All right, hello everybody. Welcome to our new segment of Faces of FC. I'm Mr. Katt, the freshman class sponsor, and I also teach ninth grade English at FC. And today I'm joined by two extra special guests. They are some of the people who help make activities happen at First Colonial. So I'm going to give them a chance to introduce themselves. I think we'll start with Ms. Godfrey and then move on to Ms. Beymer. But if you could tell us just a little bit about what it is you do at FC, if you've been there a while and want to brag about that, you can tell us that, and what it is kind of about your job that you like doing.
Well, first of all, everybody, welcome. I am Mrs. Godfrey, your student activity coordinator at First Colonial High School. I am getting ready to start my 19th year here at FC, my 28th, I believe, overall with Virginia Beach City Public Schools. Maybe this is my 20th. I don't know. Anyway, point is, I've been here a long time. I love my job. I love this community. I love what my role is around here with the management of our clubs, our groups, our activities, our sports, our coaches. There's nothing more I would rather do than get up and come to work here in the morning and work with these fabulous people and our fabulous kids and community and parents. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I can't wait to meet you all in person.
All right, and we just want to give a quick disclaimer. Ms. Godfrey is not driving around on the streets of Virginia Beach and Zooming at the same time. She's in a stationary car in the parking lot. During our kind of like technical run through earlier, we discovered that her connection was much better out there than inside her windowless office. So we figured this would be the best way to get the best connection. So don't worry, she's not putting herself or anybody else on the roads in danger. All right,
Thank you for the disclaimer, Mr. Katt. That is important to say. Hello, everyone. I am Mrs. Beymer. I am a special education teacher and SCA advisor at First Colonial. I'm also the leadership workshop advisor and JV softball coach. So I wear a couple of different hats. This is my 7th year at First Colonial, my 13th year in total in education. And I love being a Patriot and being at First Colonial. It really is a family. We don't just say that to put that out there lightly. All of the faculty and staff, the students, we all become a family, and the community is amazing. And we really look forward to meeting all of our freshmen and welcoming you to our Patriot family. So I'm excited to meet everyone.
Yeah. I graduated from FC myself many years ago, and when people ask me, do you have any, like, are you working alongside any of the same teachers that you had? I'm like, okay, do you want the short list or the long list? Because, people come, they get in, they love the vibe, and they want to stay, which is awesome. So I went ahead and compiled some questions just to kind of give people an idea of what we offer at FC, and then also how things are going to look different this year. So my first question is, why might a student want to get involved in extracurriculars at First Colonial?
And I guess it's me. Yay, I'm going to answer that one. Well, first and foremost, the studies show that the student that gets involved in extracurricular activities is going to have better time management skills. You're going to be able to alleviate stress better. Studies show that your marks are typically higher in your courses, that the relationships that you develop with your peers tend to be deeper and stronger because you're working together towards a common goal. And the relationships that you have with your teachers and your coaches and your advisors tend to be also very deep relationships because you come to an understanding that these people aren't just teachers. They're not just in a classroom to teach you a subject, that they truly care about your overall well-being and your overall development as a student. And it tends to just bring a better or a more positive experience for our students when we see them that they get involved. And I would like to point out that we have a nearly 50% involvement rate. In any given year, over half of our students will attend a club meeting, or they will become part of one of our groups, or our fine arts department, or our sporting groups. And that is a number that I am particularly proud of, and I know it will be difficult this year to maintain that number, particularly with starting out in the virtual world, but it is something that I strive for every year. Honestly, I strive to have every kid in our building participate in at least one activity during the school year. But to have those types of numbers make me very happy and make me realize that we're doing some really great things here at FC.
Very cool. Yep. I think, you know, you go to FC for school, but then when you have that extra something that you're involved in, maybe there's not a grade attached, maybe it's like a goal, if you're working towards being a professional athlete or going into the arts professionally, and you have a chance to engage and interact with that outside of just the classroom, I think is really, really valuable. And then Ms. Godfrey, did you also mention how many clubs and activities we offer at FC?
I did not. I did not. We typically offer around 50 clubs every year. Occasionally one or two will drop or they'll fold, but then we always have something new that we offer. We offer 3 sports seasons, and I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself here, but we do offer a fall, a winter, a spring, and a sports season, and I know we're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes and how that's going to look a little bit different this year, so I'll hold off on that information. But between our clubs and our sports, both the varsity and the junior varsity level, we offer over 83 activities combined at First Colonial High School, and we've got a storied history here. Just since I've been here, we've had eight team state championships, so many individual champions in wrestling, in track and field, in swim and dive, that I don't have fingers and toes to count them all. Our debate team is known across the state as being absolutely powerful. I believe we've won 4 or 5 state championships in debate, as well as had numerous individual winners in debate and forensics. So our speech programs are phenomenal. So we've got a lot to offer and a storied history, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit more in depth about the activities and how things are going to look a little bit different this year in another segment.
Yeah, actually that's the next question that I had is, how will activities in sports work this fall? Like, are they even still happening? Because even though school is still set to start on September 8th, we'll all be virtual. So is there any opportunity for anybody to do anything physical? And there's also some talk about how the year, like the season schedule for the year is changing.
Well, before I tell you how the changes are going to look, I just want our audience to know that we do offer 3 seasons. We offer fall, which typically starts in late July or early August and runs through early November. We have winter that starts early November and typically runs through late January, early February. And then we have a spring that starts late February and typically runs through early June. Now, that being said, obviously this school year is not going to look like that. Even though we are First Colonial and we're part of Virginia Beach and we're part of, you know, the Virginia Beach City Public School Systems, there's a governing body for athletics in the state of Virginia, and they are the Virginia High School League, and I will refer to them in the future as the VHSL. So the VHSL, they created a different look to our seasons this year to make sure that we get them in. Our spring kids lost their spring sports season last spring, and it was devastating. And the VHSL wants to make sure that that does not happen this year. And they worked diligently to create new seasons to give students the opportunity. So the new seasons are going to look like this. They're going to run, we're going to start with winter, and winter will start in early December. The season is going to be shortened by approximately 40%. So you're going to place the students who make those winter sports teams or participate in winter sports will have 60% of their season. That season will run from early December through early February. And then in February, we're going to slide our fall sports season in right after winter ends. And just so you know what we offer in winter, we offer wrestling, we offer gymnastics, swim and dive, cheer for basketball, we offer basketball, and I believe indoor track and field. Then we're going to go to fall. Fall will start in February, and that is where we're going to offer football, field hockey, cheerleading, competition cheer, golf, cross country, and I think I covered all of those. And then third, we're going to follow up with a shortened spring season, and that is going to offer our kids soccer, baseball, softball, outdoor track and field, and tennis. So everything is going to be condensed into seasons that are going to be about 60% of what they typically are. Winter will start first, early December, run through February, followed by fall, start in February, run through April. Spring will start in late April and run through early June. So that's how it's going to look this year.
All right. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that it takes a lot to be able to figure out and work out ways to try to give kids both the chance to play and keep them safe. But I think it's also reassuring to know that, like, we want to try to accomplish both as much as we possibly can. And so some teams are doing some kind of conditioning things. Other teams are planning to do tryouts. Later, kind of towards the end, I'll be giving you some information, you all who are listening, about how you can find out what those different teams and activities are doing if you want to try to get involved ASAP. All right, another question that I had, and I was kind of thinking of, I'll help out with the theater productions at FC, so I'm involved in the after school stuff, but will transportation such as activity buses still be available for sports and other after school activities?
What Central Office Administration is sharing with us is that once we are back in school and the activities resume, that yes, the normal activity bus schedule will also resume. First Colonial High School has our in-house activity buses that take our kids home that live in the zone, and then we have some buses assigned to us that would take our LSA students home. So right now there has been no plan to eliminate that transportation. Obviously, as we get closer to that start date for winter in December, if the numbers have not improved, we could be having a different conversation.
Right.
But for right now, there is no plan to eliminate activity buses once we start our regular athletic seasons in early December.
Yep. Very cool. And then another question would be, can students who chose option 2 or who are going to be taking their classes through the virtual learning center in the fall, if they would be attending First Colonial, can they still participate in our activities?
Yes, they can. Obviously, all of our students are aware we're going to a 4x4. So that will change a little bit about what their eligibility requirements are. And that's another topic for another day. But you got to remember, students, if you are interested in participating in an activity, you have to be enrolled in 3 classes at all times in a 4x4, and you have to pass 3 classes at all times to remain eligible in a 4x4. So the students who go virtually, those same rules and applications will apply to them. But if they select option 2, they are still going to be able to participate in activities.
Right. Yep. And then, I mean, another thing to consider is that usually if somebody's choosing that option 2, it's for a reason, and so they don't feel comfortable, or it's unsafe for them to come to the school every day. And so even though it's this whole big thing, because if the club's meeting virtually, then it's no problem, but then if they want to come and do some kind of conditioning or something, that's going to be something that kids are really going to need to figure out with their parents, and figure out transportation and things like that. All right.
Absolutely. You touched on something very critical there, is that's a discussion and a decision that will have to be made at the family level. If they are selecting option 2 for whatever reason, variety of reasons, that is, if the club can meet virtually, like you said, that's an easy check the box. But obviously, if you're on a team, you're going to be expected to be at practices and be at games, and that's going to be a family decision that a student athlete's going to have to make with their parent or guardian.
Right. All right. I was going to ask, how have the sports seasons changed? But you already mentioned about how we'll start out with winter sports, and then we'll insert the fall sports in between, and then finish with the spring sports. So now I kind of want to switch gears, and I think Mrs. Beymer is going to be the one offering a lot of the answers to some of these next questions. But Mrs. Beymer, can you tell us, what is the SCA? If a kid is coming in and they want to get involved with something and they hear these letters SCA, what does that mean? What do they do?
So SCA, it's our Student Council Association, and SCA is our student leadership program, and it gives students an opportunity to get involved in school and in service projects in the community. We have, it's so we have the SCA, and then each class has their own class officers. So seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen have class officers. So the SCA is kind of the governing body of the student leaders, but then we have tiers for each grade level. So with the SCA, for instance, SCA, we plan homecoming, we plan spirit weeks. Last year we started doing themes for sporting events. We plan a wonderful I Love FC week in February. We also work with our class officers. When we say SCA, it's really a culmination of all of our classes are welcome to participate and to get involved. So it's a wonderful opportunity to develop leadership skills, to get involved, to keep school spirit high, and to get to meet your peers and make some friends and build relationships. It's a really great time.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, you don't have to come in with any kind of a special skill set in order to be part of the SCA. Actually, probably the more different kinds of kids we have in there with different skills and abilities really helps. So it's kind of the one that really anybody can be part of it.
Absolutely. For example, last summer we painted some inspirational messages in our bathrooms. So we called, we sent out a message to our students and said, hey, if you would like to get involved and have artistic abilities, we need you. And if you're not artistic, but you can help in any way, come out and help. We try to get all students involved because, like you said, everyone has something great to offer, and everyone's skills are valuable. So please, feel free to get involved. It's really fun, and it helps you in the future. And getting involved freshman year helps you work towards ring dance. Freshman class, sometimes people are like, well, what is freshman class going to do? Your big things in high school for class officers is ring dance and prom. So what you do freshman year, how your officers work together freshman year, it does help set the stage for ring dance and prom a few years away.
Yep.
And our junior officers, they plan ring dance, and our senior officers plan prom.
Yep. And so even though this year is kind of all over the place, we can still kind of expect things to kind of normalize by the time the class of 24 is getting into those upperclassmen years. So that'll be something that I think will be good to see back when we enter into the precedented times, as people will sometimes say. So you talked about officers, and then kind of general responding to questions to volunteer. I know I personally myself love a good spirit week. So it sounds like there are different levels with the SCA that students can get involved. Can you talk to us about some of those different levels? There are going to be different levels of commitment, different expectations. What are some of the different things that a kid can do within SCA?
Absolutely. So our officer team, those officers, they're going to do a little bit more planning and behind the scenes work. That's going to be with our officers and our class officers. And then each class and SCA has an executive council as well. So the executive council team is made up of students who want to still participate in class activities, but maybe don't have the time commitment to be an officer, but they're available, to volunteer to help with homecoming, help with the cleanup committee. Maybe they want to be on a subcommittee. So I'm using homecoming a lot because for SCA, that's our big event. So we really rely on our executive council for that. And our executive council then has subcommittees. So like we have a spirit committee for homecoming. We have a pep rally committee. So maybe you want to be involved in one of those subcommittees to help. And you can be an SCA executive council and in your class executive council. So you could be in freshman class executive council and SCA executive council. So it's not you have to pick or choose what executive council you have to be in. I will say if you are an officer, like president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, those you would have to pick. You can't be president for freshman class and president for SCA. So in that elected role, you would have to choose.
Right.
But executive councils are open to everyone.
Yeah, and you made a good point with the different officer positions, because I know we have kind of like how we would run those elections in a typical year versus things changing this year, and there are still plenty of things up in the air. So are there any kind of like basics that you can tell the people at home, either like what to expect, or, you know, is this something that people are even, like, when I say people, I mean more like the adults, those of us who coordinate this for the students, is this something that they're thinking about, that they're trying to come up with a solution?
Right now, there are still things in process of how, you know, things are going to work throughout the division with our elections and how we're going to proceed with our student leaders. I can tell you over the summer, I've been working with some of our wonderful student leaders who've been participating in virtual citywide think tanks for the past month. And we've been meeting weekly via Zoom with Mrs. Godfrey and Dr. Farrell, our principal, to talk about, you know, new student orientation, some ideas for virtual spirit weeks, and some possibly a virtual pep rally, you know, some other things. So while we don't have, I can't give you that answer right now, I can say that our student leaders are still hard at work behind the scenes to make sure that we hit the ground running in our leadership.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I imagine there's probably an aspect of wanting to keep some consistency from school to school, but in order to find something that's going to work for a division with, you know, 68,000 total students and 11 different high schools, to work that out and find one that's going to work for every school takes some time. But if you're watching this video, that means you're already kind of going out of your way to find information. And so it's channels like this that we'll be able to communicate when we do have definite answers for how to run for an officer position or how to vote. That stuff will be communicated here, and some of it through classes as well.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Well, I think this has been a great time talking with the three of us. I hope that anybody who's been listening to the conversation is now thinking like, wow, I'm about to start a new year at First Colonial. I want to get involved. What are some of the clubs I can get involved? Is there, you know, a newsletter list that I can go on, or an Instagram that I can follow, or a website that I can check out? So I'm going to take a moment now just to tell people, if you go to our 9th grade orientation website, which actually we'll use for things more than orientation as the school year goes on. But that's tinyurl.com/FCHSCO2024, tinyurl.com/FCHSCO2024. The link is also in the bio here on Instagram. There's a tab that you can click on that says Virtual Club Fair. And so what we've done there is we've taken all the clubs and activities that have a website or an Instagram or some other form of communication. We've put those links on there. I've also been reaching out to the coaches and sponsors so that however they are communicating with students, you can either like follow an account or get on a mailing list or make a connection with a coach or sponsor or something now. Because our hope is that even though we're not actually meeting in person, if somebody wants to get involved, we want to make that pathway as direct as possible. So you'd be going to the link in our bio, tinyurl.com/FCHSCO2024, and clicking on Virtual Club Fair, and that'll give you plenty of information for anything that you might want to join. All right, is there any kind of like final thoughts or parting words, anything that you're looking forward to this year, anything that you think is going to be interesting to see what solution we come with, thoughts on the first day of school, any just parting words that either of you have.
I just want to say welcome in that. For me, I just cannot wait to see you all face to face. I encourage you to take part in our Patriots on Parade Thursday, September the 3rd, our drive-through service. We're going to have a goodie bag for each one of our new students. It'll give you an opportunity to see some of your future classmates. It'll hopefully give you an opportunity to see some of your future teachers. We're trying to arrange a little cheering section for you. So please encourage you to ask your parents to bring you through the drive-through on Thursday, September the 3rd. And stay up to date with everything that we're offering virtually through all of our through all of our social media sites, as well as the First Colonial High School Facebook page. You could also reach out to me directly at First Colonial High School. I am a 12-month full-time employee, and I've been back at work for months now. My email address is my first name, Hollie, Hollie, .Godfrey, Godfrey, at bbschools.com. Please feel free to email me directly with any question that you have, or you can call me here at First Colonial High School, 648-5300. I'm the only Hollie Godfrey in the building. Welcome.
Awesome.
Yes, so just welcome to FC and the drive-through parade. This is an event that many people have spent several hours planning and days, and Mr. Katt has been phenomenal in helping to communicate and plan everything. Our student leaders have also played a part in this, and you will be seeing some student leaders at the parade. So please, we can't wait to see you. Look forward to meeting everyone, and get involved and ask questions. You have a wonderful class sponsor. If you're interested in SCA, please reach out to me. My email is nicole.beymer@bbschools.com. My email, or my name's on the screen. So again, nicole.beymer@bbschools.com.
Yeah, that's right.
Reach out to me, and I will help you in any way that I can.
All right. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. For those of you who are watching, technically it's not live. There isn't a way on Instagram to have more than one guest. So we went ahead and pre-recorded this. But if you have questions afterwards, you want to contact any of us, you want to DM the FC Class of 2024 Instagram, we'll be there for you to answer questions that you have to the best of the knowledge that we have. All right, we are looking forward to another year at First Colonial, the best high school at the beach, the real beach school. And we want to see you get involved and really, because really in the end, your high school experience is going to be what you make of it. And if you have interests, if you just want to get together with friends and all say, hey, let's all do SCA together, that's going to really give you a better experience throughout high school than if you just view it as a place where you come, sit through your classes, and then go home. We want to see involved students and just really an active student body, lots of school spirit and all that. All right, well, we had this today at 2:10 p.m. on Friday because we figure once we're back in school, that time will take on a lot more significance. I know that many of us, as much as we love school and, you know, teachers, we love teaching and all that, 2:10 on a Friday just has got like a special feeling for all of us. So anyway, keep on coming back, hoping to have a couple more guests before the school year starts, and then maybe even a few more conversations as the school year gets underway. But thanks for tuning in. We've loved talking with you, hoping you find plenty of ways to get involved.